welcome to Storypath Showcase. I am your host and story guide, Travis Legge. This is session 1 of our Dystopia Rising Chronicle, Dystopia Rising Evolution. I'm looking very much forward to diving into this story. We have a great group of players assembled, and I think the tale we have planned will be quite fun and entertaining, and probably a little bit gory with a side of some suspense and maybe sudden but inevitable betrayal. So before we get too far into all of that, let's have everyone go ahead and introduce themselves. Let's start things off with Katie, and if you could, please just tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, who you're playing, their pronouns, and anything else that you feel the audience might need to know before we get going. And then when you're done, you can pass the talking privileges to the next person. Once we get back around to me, we'll dive right in.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Katie Griffin. I am going to be portraying Fixer. Both of our pronouns are she, her. Fixer is a diesel jock. What I do is I usually run weddings, but I also do a lot of freelance for Onyx Path Publishing and other publications and publishing companies in my spare time. And otherwise, I'm really happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Who would you like to hand off to go next?
I would like to hand it off to, let's see, how about Chris?
That's me. Hi, I am Chris Kitts. I use he, him pronouns, and my character, Emil Cantor, a wonderful unborn, is also going to be using, did I say he, her pronouns? He, him pronouns. He will also be using he, him pronouns. Account manager, DJ, sometimes writer, bumblebee, whatever. And I am really excited to be here, and I will pass things off to Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jessie Morrow. My character's name is Linux LimeWire. We both use she, her pronouns. I work as a sales executive, but I'm super excited to play a game with some friends. So, yay. And Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael, Doggy Daddy, listener of the Dollop, person who enjoys completely rambling intros. I will be playing Lep, who uses they pronouns. I personally use he, they as my preferred pronouns. Lep is a sensorite who was originally cast aside where the parents thought that they were a remnant. So this is going to be a very unique cultist approach. I'm looking forward to it. In mundane life, I write things, I do nerd stuff, I listen to podcasts, I work in corporate America, and I sometimes do fun nerd ghost hunting and weird things. That's about it. So, Heather.
Hello, I am Heather Halstead. I am a filmmaker and an office manager because everyone has to have multiple jobs anymore, and that's fine. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Vess, who is a tainted grizzly bear mom. Looking forward to that, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Beautiful. And once again, thank you all for being here. As I said before, I'm Travis Legge. My pronouns are he, him, and I have no objection to the singular they. If there's nothing further, we'll dive right into the tale. This is session 1, which I am entitling To the Pit. When we met in session 0, we had discussed that your group were traveling together. Now, Fixer is sort of the diesel jock of the group, the one who's responsible for the transportation, and the one who seems to have, in the small outpost, I guess, village of Morganstown, one might say, village, seems to have misplaced the vehicle. This was due to a case of aggressive borrowing by some of the locals, it seems, as you were inside of a local watering hole. And when you returned, you found cinder blocks and some of the rust from the body of it left behind, kind of in a bit of a light dusting where you had parked the vehicle. But otherwise pretty much stripped down to nothingness. It's evening. You're all stepping outside the watering hole to discover that the vehicle that you arrived in and all the supplies that were in it have mysteriously disappeared. And what would you like to do?
Dude, where's my car?
Fixer.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Your car's broke, sir.
It's not broke. It's not there. Where is it?
Oh, look, rust and cinder blocks.
You? Oh, okay, but where's my car?
Obviously, a Yorker took it. There's cinder blocks.
Fixer.
Yes.
All the food's in the car.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Everything's in the car, or was in the car.
Yes, it is. Was.
Cool.
What'd you do with your car
I
and the food?
left it right here.
And Mr. Sweekums.
And
Mr. I have the keys still.
You all see there's a fella sitting on the side of the road, a couple buildings down from the front of the bar that you've just walked out of. He says, got any water, tea? I saw what happened. I can tell you, I'm really thirsty.
we do in the car.
Oh, it's not going to do you much good at all.
I know shit.
How about I go back inside and find a drink?
I have something a little stronger than water.
Oh, I'll take stronger than water. I mean, all you got to do is look at me and know I'd take stronger than water.
I don't like to assume. It makes a fool of you and I. Emil approaches the person, ? And reaches into the interior of his jacket and produces a very sad, mostly empty bottle of hooch and offers it to this sitting friend, and says, there's not much left, but you're welcome to the rest of it.
Wow, that's very generous of you. Thank you so much. And he just slams it down, like tilts his head all the way back, but is also like sucking on the end of it, like just can't get it in fast enough.
That's a professional. Yes.
And as he leans back forward, finishing it, there's just this long sort of trail of spittle and backwash as
Don't waste that. Don't waste that.
All the way back to hand you back your container.
You keep that.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you. He puts the lid on it and puts it in his pocket. He says, I was sitting here and I saw, probably about 10 of them come up here. So this local crowd, I guess you could call them a gang, sort of. But I know one of them, their pap works for the big boss lady, and I bet you if you talk to the big boss lady, she can get you your car back, or at least whatever's left of it. Time they get done selling off parts and whatnot.
I missed the punchline.
I'm sorry, whatever's left of it.
Oh, they didn't take it in one piece. They had a bunch of tool kits. I ain't never seen nobody moves that fast. It wasn't running
Fixer.
from Zed.
Fixer. We aim the gun at the right people.
Oh, but he looks like the right person right now.
Not yet. Life is killing him.
I didn't take your car. Think I'd be sitting here if I took your car? Do I look like I know how to use tools?
No, he was just sitting on the bench.
I'm just an old fella. Have a hard time getting around. He throws back like the pile of like coat and various cloths that are around him. And you can see he's missing his leg from about mid right thigh down. And there's like vermin, like it looks like it's a wound that he suffered recently enough that there's still moisture involved. But long enough ago that he should have long sought some sort of medical attention. And there's various just sort of things crawling around on it.
Why haven't you seen a doctor or a medic or anybody for that?
Sir, that has a smell.
Is that what it is? I thought it was just I hadn't made it to the latrines.
Well,
I mean, it could be both. I think
they're
it's
not
both.
mutually exclusive, turns out.
What direction did they go in?
Medic's way over there.
Who's the boss lady?
That.
Who's the boss lady? You don't know the boss lady? How long you been in town?
What day is it? Less than that.
You knew. You haven't even met Trose, have you? She's kind of the mayor folk, sort of. I mean, I guess mayor, queen. I don't know, whatever she calls herself. She's the boss lady. She's the one.
High Grand Poobah. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I don't. I guess. I bet you anyone. If you go back into that bar, the owners and operators will know how to get in touch with her because they pay her tax and whatnot, just so they can operate. I don't have no job. Do I look like I got a job to you?
Yes.
If I had a job, I'd have gone and seen a medic.
You may not have a job, but do you have a name?
Yeah, my name's Willard.
Willard. Well, Willard, you've been very helpful.
So have you. I can barely feel this leg. I don't know what was in that hooch, but I sure would like another shot of it.
Something tells me that wasn't a hooch, Willard, but
Willard,
you and you.
I'm going to give you some expert medical advice and say you need to drain your leg at some point. That's why it's swollen.
You know,
Drain it.
Willard, if you just allow yourself to be taken by the mortis, you will come back healthier and stronger.
Oh, no, I don't like that at all. I got stepped on one time when I was a teenager, right in the head. And that was a very disturbing experience. I'd rather avoid, if you don't mind.
It'll happen eventually.
You got some sense in you.
Luckily for you, the mortis does what the mortis will in its own time. You'll be
But
fine.
I will say, if you don't get that leg taken care of, you're going to meet it sooner than later. So,
Oh, well, hell.
that thing.
Yeah, I guess I better do something about it. He starts like trying to pull himself up, and you can tell that he's got, in addition to his wound, he has zero sense of balance. Chances are very good that he's running a pretty severe fever from infection and whatnot.
Do you all want me just to help put him down painlessly?
No.
It would be a mercy.
There is such like a battle of good and evil happening on Emil's face. It's like if if Stellan Skarsgård were having a seizure, but like just localized to his face about whether or not he's going to help this guy.
We don't know what the rules or the punishments are of this society in this town, so I'm going to just pass and let him do it on his own.
Also, he just said he doesn't want to die. So how far away is he pointed to like a vague direction of the place to go get help? How far away was that?
He pointed to a building that's like 4 doors down that has like a barber pole outside of it. It's not far at all. He just
When he goes to stand up, I will move over and like get under one of his arms and like drag him over there.
Emil gets under the other
waiting for him
arm.
to like keep up with his own steps, right? Just like literally dragging this gross man.
excellent.
Don't get as gross on you, Beth.
Yeah, as you lift him, as you like duck under the arm to lift him up, you have released a pocket of odor that has been sort of brewing there.
I said, don't get the gross on you.
Are you okay? What resilience attribute would you like to rely on?
This is starting off great. Which ones are my resilience attributes?
They're the line across the bottom.
I see. We're gonna say resolve.
All right, go ahead and roll your resolve twice, and we will total up the successes that come along with that. Okay, 3 successes, not bad.
That's the quote of the night. What resilience attribute do you have to cope with the smell pocket?
You manage not only to like suppress your gag reflex, but also keep a somewhat like stoic expression. Like you don't let him know how repulsed you are by this odor that wafts from him. But it definitely, like, this is not just body odor. This is like infection from the wound. Like this dude needs a doctor 3 weeks ago, probably. So you do manage to get him up and help him down the way to the barber.
As that is going on, can I just use my expert medical observation to figure out how long generally do I think he has let this sit? Like,
yeah, if you want to make a medicine roll, and what attribute would you like to rely on for that?
I'll use intellect because that seems the most applicable.
Sure. I'm going to give you a complication of 1 because you aren't getting in there and you're using a visual only diagnosis. But that may lead to you missing some vital information if you don't resolve the complication.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't foresee you having any problem resolving that complication at all.
No.
It looks like something that was venomous of some sort bit that leg off, probably within the last week, definitely more than 48 hours ago. And like some sort of like almost like a gangrenous kind of infection has gotten going in there, to the severity that, like, as it's trying to heal through the natural processes through which you would, like, that itself is also getting sort of gunked up with this infection. And you're pretty sure you saw as kind of the rags that he's wearing that pass for clothing flapped around a little bit. You could see kind of streaks of this like greenish hue, like running up his leg along the lines of like where veins would go and whatnot. So that infection's in the blood. He is not in good shape.
Got it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Old man, why did you not go to a doctor immediately?
Well, I didn't go to a doctor immediately because I was about half mile out of town that way.
Oh, okay. And then you couldn't get the rest of the way? No one helped you?
No. Drug myself over here. Sun was up. Might have been up again since I drugged myself here.
Okay. I'm conflicted.
I'm gonna put him on the ground next to the door of this place and just Oh, and just bang on the door.
Door opens. You see a guy answer the door. It looks like he's probably about 16, maybe. He's got on a set of like welder's glasses on his forehead. He's wearing a coat that is just splattered with various fluids that you'd rather not take the time to identify. And he answers you with an incredibly creaky, puberty-hewn voice. Hello?
I was going to ask if you were the medic, but I can see that you probably are, I guess.
It's at the moment.
At the moment, that inspires confidence.
Thanks, I'm learning.
This guy needs help.
Fuck yeah, he does. Get him in here, I guess.
Heaves him.
Wait, let me fix him. Let me fix him. Let me fix him. Let me fix him. I can't do this anymore. Let me fix him. Let me fix him.
Cool.
Let me fix him.
Excellent.
You come running in. He says, well, it's fine. You see he's got like a stapler in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other.
Those are my favorite tools.
I'm so concerned. Just
I gotta get the scab off. I was gonna use these forceps.
You know what? Let me help. I'm going to help you.
Oh,
what's your
thank
name?
You.
What's your name?
My name's Ribs.
Name's Ribs. Okay, Ribs. I'm Fixer.
Fixer.
This is Vess and Emil, and Lep is out there somewhere, probably judging
Stick my
us.
head in the door.
I'm also outside. I'm staying by the
Lynn,
car.
I think, is probably out there as well, also judging us. I am going to help you fix this guy. Okay? Yeah.
Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah, what's up?
Did they already forget that our car was stolen?
I think so. I'm going to investigate.
Do you want me to just start killing random people till I find the right one?
I can hear you.
You're supposed to.
Give it 5 minutes. Let me see if I can investigate it first.
You know what? I'll give you 10.
Excellent. What type of investigation would you like to do while you're out there?
Well, I'm a Jones and a scavenger, so I'm good at figuring out like what components are left and following, tracks and fossils and stuff like that. So I am going to just check out the area and see what I can find out about what was taken and where it was taken to.
Sure. Let's take a look here. Why don't you go ahead and give me, you can either use technology or survival. And then what attribute would you like to lean on for your role?
Cunning.
Cunning? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll those together if you don't mind. And did you have a question, Michael?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. So as you're looking around the area, it becomes abundantly clear to you that like this was a well-coordinated strip down of this car. Whoever took this thing apart, like knows vehicles.
I'm going to steal their tools.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. This isn't their first rodeo. And they managed to do it at the speed and lack of noise they made in the process of doing this. You expect that there would have had to have been closer to like 15 or 20 people working on this in tandem. This was not a small group.
And is there vehicle marks to show where it's driving? Like, did they drive it away? Did they walk it away?
As near as you can tell, like it looks like they dropped on it like a swarm and then took off in 10 different directions.
Linux, what do your nerdy eyes see?
They're taking the ring to Isengard.
This is way more than 10 people. Either that or they're all superhuman and have like 2 sets of hands. Probably 15 to 20, and they scattered. Like they just carried off all of the different components in different directions. It's a serious operation. Like they've done this several times before.
So organized group like a gang, key focus. They knew when we walked in. They knew how long we'd be in there. Means the bartender's actually probably actively involved with it because they would have given some sort of sign if we were going to be heading towards the door.
Makes sense to me.
And if they went all sorts of directions, that means someone who's normally shady might know something?
Probably. They also have to have a centralized location to bring all the components to afterwards.
Assuming they want to put it back together.
Right. But that many components scattered around the city, we would have noticed it beforehand if they've done this several times before. So they most likely have either a chop shop, warehouse, something like that.
Do you think they killed him already? The guy in the barber shop.
Meanwhile, in the barber shop, Ribs looks at you and says, Dr. Sawbone says that it's very important to use anesthetic before any procedure. So he takes a swig out of the whiskey and then hands it to you.
Thank you. I'm going to put that down there for now.
Okay. You're like professional.
I absolutely already had some anesthetic in the local watering hole. So I am good to go.
Good. I was going to grab onto the edge of that big old green scab and just yank.
Before you do that, maybe we do this a little bit more surgically. I have this knife here, and maybe we just do a small incision instead of tearing. Does that sound good? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't normally get the knives.
Yeah. Let's do it with a little stabby stab. Yeah? Okay, let's do this.
Okay, hold on, I'll go get mine. He like walks over and takes a machete off the wall.
No. How about, you know what? Let's do observational doctor time. And you stand there, and actually, Emil has been very sick lately. So I think you should absolutely look at Emil for just a little bit and make sure that Emil's had this really bad cough, and they're looking a little green right now. Don't you think the Unborn is looking a little bit greener than normal?
Okay.
Yeah. You focus on Emil, and I'm just gonna help this guy because Emil. I mean, there's a reason that we all came in here. Emil needs help right now. Absolutely.
Okay. He drops the machete and he picks up a traffic cone and walks up to Emil's back and leans the wide part of the traffic cone against your spine and just says, "Can you breathe for me, please, just regularly?"
Emil takes a long, measured, deep breath and is clearly trying not to rage quit this entire situation.
Yep, definitely breathing. He says something. While this examination, to put it very mildly, is going on, what would you like to do?
I would like to drain this pus-fueled thing and try to analyze it and fix it as best I can, because and see whether or not I need to operate by cutting off part of this person.
Okay.
To see how bad it is.
I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 enhancement on this above and beyond any equipment that you're using, because you got such a good roll on your initial diagnosis of it. But yeah, go ahead and make your medicine roll. What attribute would you like to lean on?
I am going to go with intellect, because it's still a problem solving, unless you think I should do something like dexterity, because now I'm doing operations and that sort of thing. I'll let you determine it.
Ultimately, whatever you want to lean on is fine. Either of those makes sense. So intellect is probably fine.
Okay.
You're not operating under any like ticking clock or anything. So I think you can take your time and think it through.
Sounds like a plan. Medicine. intellect.
Excellent. Yep. So that's 5 successes plus your +2 enhancement. So you're able to remove a minimal amount of tissue from the end of this leg. But you absolutely recognize that he's going to need like antibiotics and things along those lines. It's a bad scene. He's probably not long for the world even with that, but an antibiotic drip is probably your best bet at keeping him alive.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look at Vess. Hey, do you mind looking around the shop for anything that looks vaguely like antibiotics? Say that again, Vess.
You are very muted.
I'll do my best. Not having any medical. I'm going to go over to the kid, and while he's listening to Emil's cough, put my arm over his shoulder and be like, hey, why don't you show me around this place? I think Emil's okay. I think Emil's doing just fine. I would love to see your shop and what you got going on here, and, just give me the tour.
Sure, right this way. He like leaps up on the counter and is like crab walking across it. So that's where the doctor keeps the sharp stuff, and that's where the doctor keeps the stuff that goes and like rips into people, and over there is where we keep the pills. I'm not supposed to touch those.
She's gonna jerk her head at Emil like.
What?
Fixer is also going to gesture to Emil and point at where the pills are.
Oh, that's my cue. Yes.
Turns him away, moves him in the other direction away from the pills.
Emil stops dissociating, and he does, in fact, scoot over to the pills. And let's see, what should I feel like I should probably roll to like gently scoot those over to Fixer.
I guess 2 questions. One, are you trying to be like subtle about accessing them? And 2, do you have any medical knowledge, or are you just trying to just shove a bunch that way and let Fixer figure it out?
Boy, Emil sure doesn't have medical knowledge.
Okay.
But he is trying to be a little sneaky about this, so I feel like he should be rolling dexterity.
Yeah, larceny would probably be the appropriate ability, or the appropriate skill rather.
Looking, I don't see larceny.
Larceny, or is it stealth, or is it something else? Let me see.
I'm seeing dexterity for my attribute, and
there's subterfuge.
Yeah.
Subterfuge, that's what it is. Yep. Sorry,
I do in fact have.
I got my Storypath wires crossed. It is subterfuge. Please roll subterfuge and dexterity.
All right.
Excellent. That is 1 success, and in case it weren't obvious, Rib's not the most attentive kid on the planet, so you're able to slide those over there without any. And he's like, this over here is where we just kind of throw parts that are left over. If you got any leftovers, throw them over here.
Okay, good, great.
I'm gonna look through the pills and see if I can find antibiotics amongst the.
You do, but you immediately recognize that, like, this supply is extremely shabby. There's most of the bottles that have pills in them have like 1 or 2 pills left. Looks like they're basically out of any, like if anybody comes in here with something more severe than a low grade fever, they're basically going to be up the creek.
Lep.
Meanwhile, the 2 of you are outside discussing whether or not you're going to go on a killing spree, I assume is what the conversation is.
No, we give him 10 minutes. Do you want to go in the bar, I guess, and talk to them?
No, because they know it's.
Going into that barber shop. That's disgusting.
Did you just hear? No.
So, Bar, do you want to do a round around the block, see if we can see anything that sticks out? What do you want to do?
I was going to see if I could find someone who makes the sort of weapons that. You sure no one's calling my name?
I don't hear anything.
Lep.
Oh, that's Dad. One moment. I go walking into the building.
All right, you see the kid leaps off the counter right in front of you, lands knuckles hit the floor, and then he stands up. Are you hurt?
You're adorable.
Thanks. My mother says I get by on my looks. I have a regal profile.
You didn't say my name. Excuse me. I just sort of palm the face.
Ah!
Yeah, Emil?
I think Fixer has a need of your very specific expertise.
Yes.
Pulse?
Lep.
Yep.
This person is going to suffer for a very long time because there aren't enough antibiotics to.
Antibiotics are simple. They're primarily funguses. Can I make a survival knowledge check to know something that Michael knows?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it would be based off of whatever attribute you'd like to go with. So intellect would work, cunning for quick thinking. Yeah, that's one success. That's enough to know that basic antibiotics are derived from fungus. Is that what
yeah. Basic antibiotics are primarily from fungal matter that grows off of wet toenails. You can produce antibiotics in 2 days if you leave it in a dark area.
You're reasonably certain he doesn't have 2 days, Fixer.
About to say that.
I am reasonably certain he does not have 2 days.
Oh, so you're supposed to plug his ears at this point. Earmuffs.
Neil walks over to the young friend.
This bag full of knives.
Yeah. Yes?
Son, let's take a step outside.
Oh, okay. I'm not really supposed to leave any. He's walking along with you while he's talking. I'm not really supposed to leave anyone in here unattended.
Not unattended. He's got his friends with him.
Now that there's absolutely no witnesses, I'd like to use Quick Draw to snap a blade out of the medical bag, engage in close combat, and aim for a very quick and painless death by lacerating right across one of the primary arteries.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a close combat, and then whatever ability you'd like to.
Dexterity?
Or attribute, rather. Yeah, absolutely. Dexterity would be fine. Yeah, so you go in. I mean, he is laying there. He's on death's door anyway, and you're pretty fast. So you slice across the artery, and he just sort of slumps.
Keeping this knife.
Welp.
Thank you,
What?
Lep.
Oh.
Meanwhile, on the stoop, Linux, you were standing outside this whole time, kind of just trying to do the math about what's going on, right? No more than 4 or 5 of them could have gone that way, and sorting it out. As you see a woman walking up the street very briskly and with purpose. She's wearing a lab coat, and she is carrying a bag under her arm. And she's just kind of beelining for the barber shop, and basically stops in her tracks as Emil comes out with ribs.
Hey, doctor, you must be the doctor for the doctor's place here.
Yes, I'm a doctor, barber, on occasion, counselor. What can I do for you?
So we're actually we're just into town. We're new to town here, and we're just checking out all of the local establishments. And your office was brought up as one. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Lennox Limewire.
It's nice to meet you, Lennox. And she shakes your hand, but she's looking at Emil, and she says,
This is my traveling companion, Father Cantor.
Ribs, are you okay? Oh yeah, they're real nice people. They brought in somebody they were going to let me do some work on, but then they decided to work on them instead.
Hi.
So we actually our car got stolen just down the block, and we were asking Ribs if he had seen anything, and
You didn't ask me about any car.
oh, I hadn't gotten to that point yet. That's what we were intending to do.
Ribs, have you seen a car?
Yeah, there was a car parked over and the guy's taken apart though.
See? Super helpful. Thank you for your time.
And I would like the two of you to roll empathy and whatever attribute you might lean on for quick thinking or for catching subtleties, things along those lines. Okay.
Probably should have rolled manipulation, but that's cool.
So you got to fail, but no. Oh, no, we have a straight up botch from Emil. So Emil, you're absolutely so tuned out that like you're having a very hard time noticing the flavor of the interaction between Ribs and the doctor. But Lennox, you did get a success. So you notice the doctor almost cast like a glance at Ribs that's almost like a cautionary, like careful what the next thing that comes out of your mouth kind of look. Before she turns to face you directly and says, I believe I can be of service in getting some sort of restitution for your vehicle.
Really? That would be amazing. You don't happen to know who might have taken it, do you?
I have a pretty good idea. Why don't we move this conversation inside and we'll get this sorted out?
I am squeamish around fluids. Can we stay outside for a little bit?
You're welcome to. She starts walking up to the door. Emil, are you going to give her room to pass you?
Ma'am.
Yes.
I think you may want to. He like looks over his shoulder and he goes, I think my traveling companions may have borrowed your operating theater.
Oh, Lord. She moves forward and like starts trying to physically push past you.
If you could just wait 1 second, I'm sure that they'll be out in a moment, and I'd like to roll a persuade to see if I can get her to hang out with me for another minute or so.
Sure, you can roll. That would be persuasion, if I'm not mistaken. And what attribute would you like to lean on for that? You're going to have a complication of 3. 1, there are strangers in her office. 2, you're a stranger. And 3, she is not inclined to, you're not offering her any reason to believe that she shouldn't be busting into that office right now.
Manipulation and persuasion.
All right. Excellent. So that is 6 successes. So you can buy off the complication and still have 3 successes. You can shift her attitude if you'd like to be closer to friendly to you.
Yeah, I'd like that.
She stops and turns and steps over to you and says, listen, you're new here. So I'll clue you in a little bit on what's going on.
Oh God, thank you.
Okay. Ribs's brother runs with a gang. they like to act the fool, particularly when people roll into town flashing money or with a nice ride. They think they're entitled to all of it because of who their mother is. So,
Mother's the mayor.
yes. Why the hell else do you think he's my apprentice? So, I would like to see if I can smooth this over for you, get you back what belongs to you, and get back whatever is in my office that I'm sure your companions are probably rooting through right now.
It's more of a whom they're rooting through.
Did you kill? Please tell me you didn't kill one of them.
We're out here. We're not really sure what happened. Like I said, I'm skewing around fluids, and you guys almost done in there?
But if you killed one of those gangers, there's nothing I can do to protect you.
Oh, we haven't met anybody from the gang. We just found out the car was missing and didn't kill anyone from the gang. Promise.
Okay. Well, may I get into my office, please?
That's a scoop.
All right. She comes walking past you. The rest of you see the doctor walk in. What would you have been doing in that interim period?
Last rites.
Okay.
Preparing the body to enter the mortis amaranthine, making sure that probably washing him so that he's ready to be accepted by the grave.
Okay. That should be fine. I would assume that
would be like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
I would assume that that's knowledge that you're well versed in at this point.
I have faithful proof of faith and lore of my faith.
Yeah, so you're good to go. You're just kind of buttoning things up. Is Fixer doing anything besides just trying to hurry this along?
Just like passing him things that he needs, because I understand when a sensorite is doing a faith thing, you don't get between the sensorite and the faith thing, or else heads roll. So just helping him to try to hurry it as much as possible.
That's fair. And the doctor walks in and sort of takes stock of what's going on, and in fact waits patiently until you finish your ritual.
And as you rise, you will rise again stronger, healthier as the infection that intertwines all of us. May the mortis amaranthine be merciful upon you or teach you the lessons that which you need to learn. May you be evolved into something that is stronger.
We good?
She says,
Hi.
Everything done now?
Oh, except for the decomposition of the body and me actually putting some materials over here to... Are you the doctor?
I am the doctor.
Doc, we need to get you some pills.
She sets down a bag on the counter. Yep. There's pills in there.
Oh.
I was just coming back from a meeting, but I take it this patient was a little too far gone to, oh, Lord, save.
Yeah.
Well,
he's actually saved now in the grip.
Much too far gone to save, other than being saved by Lep in the next life. Go ahead, Lep.
In the continuation of our existence of evolution.
Right, that.
Sure. That's fine. She reaches behind the counter and pulls out like a stick, lights it, starts waving it around. Smells halfway decent, not quite strong enough to kill the odor from his corpse, but she says that's
I'm
fair.
Lep. This is Fixer. What's your name? This is Vess. Vess is grumpy though.
She says, Doc is fine. So I was just told by your friend outside about some difficulties y'all are having. If you don't mind, I will have Ribs go get a wheelbarrow and get this poor guy off to the morgue. And then we can sit down and have a little chat.
Oh, no need. At this point, I'm actually going to activate proof of faith to cause any of the undead or dead matter in the area to bloom into mushrooms and rot away.
Oh, okay.
It's the faith ability of it is to cause minor miracles, assuming I don't fail. And as a sensorite, I hope I don't fail.
And what role does that call for? Does it list a role specifically in there?
I have to double check it. I have it written down though. So 1 second.
Sure.
It is a combination of lore, if you have faith, and either a force or resilience related role for what's appropriate.
So then you would take your lore skill, and then whichever attribute you felt was most relevant out of those two categories.
Can I go with resolve, as I am resolved to make this work because I believe in my faith as I am in a sensorite?
It was force or resilience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely resolve would work. Excellent.
2 successes.
Cool. Yeah, he sort of rots away into his component fungal matter. She raises an eyebrow and says, Ribs, get a broom and a dustpan, I guess, and get that, if you don't mind. I'm going to step out on the stoop and have a conversation with my new friends.
Oh, do you want us to leave your hospital as well?
She says, not particularly. I just would like to speak with you outside, if you don't mind.
Sounds great. We'll move outside, and if either of the other two don't, which I think Fixer will, but I don't know about Lep, like kind of herd people towards the door.
Are the two of you engaged in any conversation as they come walking out, Emil or Linux? Or are you just kind of waiting around?
It just really seemed like being honest with her was the best course of action.
Okay, I'm just not. Okay, Father Cantor. Honesty's the best. Got it.
Why does everyone call me that? Oh.
They come walking out, and she says, all right, everyone. Ribs is one of the mayor's children. His brother, Chrome, has a penchant for getting into trouble, particularly targeting people that blow through town, new folk, people that look like maybe they got more money than sense. I'm not saying that that's you, but if you had a nice ride that was unattended, chances are good they were the ones who got a hold of it.
More than
Man,
that.
if we look like we have more money than sense, I have to look really stupid.
Kind of pat slap on the back.
It could also just be because Sheila was a really good ride.
Oh, that's not it.
What?
She says, in any event, I know that the mayor generally makes this right if, as long as the people weren't causing any sort of trouble or whatnot. And you seem like decent enough folk to help some poor guy that half the town walked past while he was bleeding out on the stoop. So
All the town walked past, apparently.
So what I'll do is I'll see if I can intercede on your behalf and get you some sort of way to make this right.
That'd be great.
We would appreciate that.
No problem. She says, I didn't feel that it was appropriate to talk about this in front of Ribs. He's a little emotional.
An idiot?
Yeah, well, yes.
He's not very wealthy either.
She says, I'm going to go inside and shoot a quick wire up to their residence and see what they have to say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
She walks back in, leaving the rest of you on the stoop.
Once she's inside and the door is closed, I'm going to look around and be like, what's in it for her for doing this for us exactly?
I didn't ask.
Neither did I.
Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. If there's a gang full of people who are overseeing the town and taking what they want and getting into trouble to such a degree that she has to take on a stupid son as a partner, anything that upsets the apple cart would be in her advantage, especially if she's not in trouble.
Her advantage.
Or she likes us.
You do have a winning personality, Lep, but I don't think it's that one.
Oh.
I think after listening to Ribs for about,
27 seconds.
27. Yeah, I 27 seconds. That's a good average. About 27 seconds. You would just slowly go insane, and that would make you reach out to any possible help at all.
So she's helping us because she's crazy.
I mean, if it helps us, it helps us. It's not bad. I want Sheila back.
You're not going to get your car back. It's in pieces.
No, we're going to fix her. She's going to be fine.
Okay. I am sure that is something we'll be able to do, but I'm also concerned about whatever trouble this is going to cause in the meantime.
Oh, we're going to kill everyone. It's going to be great.
We're not going to kill everyone, Lep. We're not going to kill everyone.
It's been 10 minutes.
All things in due time.
Yeah, I didn't say right now.
About that time, she opens the door and says, I just got wire back. They are more than happy to invite you to the mayoral manor. They're going to prep a meal up for you, sit down, and work out a way to make this right.
Doctor, ma'am, doctor.
Yes.
Is this a trap?
Not that I know of.
That's kind of.
I have another question.
Don't have anything else to steal.
What's a manor?
It's
a way that you act. Oh,
it's like a mansion. It's a big piece of property.
Big house.
Oh, it's that Elitariat shit.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, Lynn's got this.
She says, to the best of my knowledge, no, it's not a trap. You seem perplexed by my kindness, so let me paint a picture for you here, okay?
I love painting.
That's just my face.
You all look like you've spent some time on the road. You've existed in the wastes a little bit, right? I have 20 teenagers that have about 5 brain cells betwixt them, run around, cause problems. You don't look like the type that causing problems is smart with. I just got the last batch of supplies that I can expect to see for the foreseeable future. I don't have enough to patch up 20 people that got themselves killed by being stupid and pissing off the wrong out-of-towners. So my involvement, simple as that.
If this is a known issue with these itinerant youths, why does their mother permit it?
Probably because she's hoping against hope that one of her kids will turn out decent. Her oldest two both got strung up in town square after trying to assassinate her on 2 separate occasions, mind you. And her next oldest ran off to Old York. Near as I can tell, took a whole bunch of mom's resources with her in the process. Stole a rig full of gear.
You sure you're not helping us because you like us?
You seem likable enough.
Well,
I'm told I'm charming.
Quite.
Suppose someone has to think so.
I mean, if you want to, sit down and have a freshly boiled glass of water and discuss local politics, I got nothing better to do. The only patient that I had any hope of treating is now so much mulch in my tomato garden now. So I'm happy to get into it with you if you'd like, or you can head up and grab dinner at the mayor's.
More information is always better. Let's go. Let's sit down and talk.
I would, no offense, Doc, but that sounds awful.
Sitting down for a conversation? Thanks.
Local politics.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
It sounds
Yes.
terrible. You just seemed very interested in it.
Yes.
Yes.
Bacon politic. You want to come with me to go get equipment?
If it means I don't have to listen to politics, then yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm not listening to politics either.
Well,
No, I guess we're going.
I'm not trying to talk about it, but you all seemed
No.
very concerned and tense, so I
No.
wanted to help.
We're just going to do some shopping. You could talk politics and get all the information. It'd be far too much for my little brain anyway.
Well, I have a minor request if you're going out shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hurt anyone. Please.
It won't be in my intent.
Appreciate it.
So can we split the party and do both of these things, or do we need to pick one or the other?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Mine's going to be super short. I'm just going to see if I can follow the trail to find an unhinged weapons crafter in the area.
Oh, several probably, but
Let's see.
No issue with that.
Dinner. Let's see. Fork goes on the outside, then knife goes on the outside. So I need a sharper knife. Yes.
Excellent.
And then
Okay, that makes some sort of sense, I'm sure. Let's go.
That's through your path contacts, correct?
that's correct.
Are you trying to get anything special, or just get a hold of like a standard old sharp, fun knife?
Something that's uniquely barbed.
Okay.
I just don't have anything of that nature.
Sure. Let's check this out real quick, because basically whenever you activate your path contacts, generally speaking, that results in a check, right? Most of the time, those checks, like, you're going to be able to get a hold of either exactly what it is you're looking for or something very close to it, but that this can cause some strain on your contacts.
Got it.
So I just want to take a moment to look that up. While I'm looking that up, what were the rest of the party planning on doing?
Sounds like we're having some boiled water and talking to our good friend, the doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just want to get some general information about, see if she can give some additional information about, is it Trosair? Is that her name?
Trocera, yes.
And any changes as far as the political systems happened recently, what the status is of like the economics in the area. I'm gonna elitariat nerd out to local politics because that's her jam, yo.
Yeah, so she basically explains to you that the last several years, Trocera has been building up influence in the area. She kind of wants to try to turn this into a defensible production town. She thinks with the woods in the area, with the resources nearby, there's some old mines not too far away that don't seem to be dry. She thinks if she can build up enough firepower and enough support, she can turn this into a real boon for production, build some wealth, and then build some influence. She is married to, she actually came here because her marriage was arranged to the gentleman who was previously the mayor. And he was and remains about 8 shades of useless. Just kind of a idle, didn't give a crap about anything but his own pocketbook, never put any work into trying to make things better for anybody, just sort of lived off of the opulence and the decadence of his wealth. But as soon as Tercera came in, she saw this as something that she could, roll up her sleeves and turn around and turn into a productive, profitable venture, and let her husband, go off, do whatever he wants to do to fill his time. She doesn't much care either way. And that's kind of the broad overview. The only real downside her only complaint about the town, the doctor specifically, is just that she lets her kids run roughshod over the place, largely out of fear that the remainder are going to turn on her. And, that she's going to have to put them all down and not have any sort of legacy to leave behind.
What is the mayor's lineage, and are they faithful?
The mayor's lineage, that is an excellent question. Let me check that out real quick. And while I'm looking that up, so effectively the way that these contacts would work is you would pair an ability of your choosing based on the situation with the contact rating, and you would roll that. In the event that you gain a success or more, you can access anything that would be reasonable within that contact's tags. If you fail that roll, you can choose to still access the service, but you would take the path suspended condition, which means that the contact suspended condition. So it would mean that using it further would increase your difficulties with it. And that condition will resolve at the end of the story or fulfilling an obligation. So they might say, like, I can get you this knife, but I need you to do me a favor. So
Got it.
So this is one of those instances where you will need to manually roll the die for the contact rating.
Okay.
And then you would, what ability score would you like to?
Actually,
or attribute, I'm sorry.
Now that I know, attribute or ability score?
It's the attributes, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't I go ahead with, it's not the best stat for it. Why don't I go with intellect, so I can find my way, negotiate, and not get bamboozled?
Sure, that's fine.
And then I have 1 point of the access. So little image of the 10 down there. Oh, it uses those commands. I know how to do those. And then
cool.
One of these.
Excellent. Yeah, so you're able to get your hands on a knife. Now, let me just check. I think the standard knife is considered tier 1, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, no, standard knife is considered tier 2.
Okay.
So you're able to get one, and it will have the lethal and concealable tags. But if you'd like, you can also go ahead and add a brutal tag to it because you're looking for one that was specifically barbed.
Yeah, let's go brutal.
Yep. So that'll give that'll give it a little easier for you to do damage with it because it's got other sub-pointy bits sticking off of it. So, and then you were asking about the lineage, correct? She is a pureblood. Her marriage was arranged by the Lineage League. And she's not particularly faithful as far as you know.
Vess, do you have something on you to protect yourself with?
She kind of bounces her baseball bat on her shoulder.
Do you have anything that you might be able to conceal slightly at dinner?
No.
Got it. The shitty little medical scalpel.
Excellent.
Kind of take it, look at it grumpily, put it in her vest.
Take the jagged knife. Fine. Give me the scalpel back.
Trades.
Excellent. Meanwhile, the three of you are sitting there enjoying some nice water and listening to Linux and the doc go back and forth about sort of the history of Morganstown. Anything that Fixer or Emil would like to ask about or add to the proceedings or do while they're in there? Look at any other activity as they're having this conversation?
What's Ribs up to?
That.
Ribs at the moment is has got like little scraps of paper that are already highly marked up, and it looks like they've been kind of just crumpled and then thrown in a pocket. And it's almost as if you're all not in this room, as he's walking around looking at everything in the room and making some kind of notes. You're not sure what. You're pretty sure he's not counting things. Mm-hmm. And he's just making these notes in like these little fine notes on the little blank sections of these pieces of paper. And when he finishes looking at one area of the room, he'll crumple that piece of paper back up and put it in his pocket. And then he goes over to the next thing he's looking at and pulls out another piece of paper and just making little notes.
Ribs.
You notice literally as soon as you speak to him, the doctor just go like this. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Inventory.
Oh, okay.
I'm making notes for things I want to remember later when I'm doing the doctoring.
Okay. Sounds good. Are you counting everything up, or are you just making
counting? That's a really good idea. We should keep track of how much stuff we got, Doc. Just thank you for the insight, Ribs.
Is there any indicator that like everything Ribs is doing is just put on, or does this seem sincere?
Why don't you make a empathy or integrity roll at your choice of which?
When the person is so dumb, you're not sure if he's faking it or not.
That's kind of where Emil's at. Is he's like, no, surely no one is this. Surely no one is this stupid. So you said empathy or integrity, and then do you have a specific attribute you'd like me to roll?
It would be based on kind of what your approach is to it, right? So if you're relying on like say quick thinking, that would be cunning. But if you're relying on kind of your own knowledge of the way people interact with one another, something like manipulation might be appropriate.
All right, we're gonna do integrity and manipulation, I think.
Okay.
Wow, my rolls this evening have been exclusively zeros.
Well, that's no fun. At least this one you didn't botch though, so you got that going for you. you really can't tell. No, yeah, you didn't get any ones, so you got that going for you.
So dumb, he's brilliant.
Yeah, you really cannot tell. You do notice as you're looking him over a few somewhat obvious things that maybe you missed on first blush when you're looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are a little bit closer than they look like they maybe ought to be. His movements are a little bit jerkier than maybe they ought to be. He has somewhat of a cleft palate.
Do you take inventory often?
Every day, at the end of my shift.
How thoughtful. You are such a good assistant.
Doc tells me that all the time. Isn't that right, Doc? Oh, yes. Yes, Ribs, you are a great assistant. She tells my mom that too, which I really appreciate. Because everybody's not all that nice to me at home. But just mom, when the doc says nice things and Electra's nice to me, but everybody else is a jerk, kind of.
In excruciating agony, Emil does reach out and pat this poor child on the back.
Beautiful. And now that you have gathered that information and gathered the resources, we'll go ahead and say that Lep and Vest make their way back, and you are able to unite and move on either to the mayor's manor, or if you have somewhere else to go, we can do that. But
people of Cascade, it is time for you to wake up and realize the truth of the city you live in. Neither the FSA nor Fulgur Tech care about you. The brain implant Cascade gives you for free is just a leash on your mind. Where you see a new beginning of the horrors of the Aberrant War, Fulgur Tech sees a chance to control you when you're at your weakest. And this video game, Terror Surge, is only part of their plan. Last year alone, in 2083, nearly 90% of the citizens of Cascade have played it. It's an addiction, not an escape. Don't you see it's nothing more than a new opiate for the masses? We need to.
So when last we were here, you were all regrouping at the doctor's, and from there going to go to the mayor's. Is that accurate? Excellent.
Sounds correct.
Getting us some dinner.
Yeah, we're going to a party.
The doctor says, Ribs will escort you. He knows the way. I do know the way. I got lost when I was younger, but I get there now. Okay. And you head out. It's about a half mile, 3/4 mile walk from downtown proper to the mayor's manor. When you walk up, you can see there's like a concrete privacy fence that has some cobbled together reinforcements in areas where it's been broken down in the past. Sheets of metal strapped over it, things along those lines. You can see there's a wrought iron gate and two armed guards standing outside of it. As you approach, they
Bess,
nod.
Bess. Let me see the knife real quick.
In front of the armed guards?
Oh yeah, I'm just holding it up as a mirror.
Holds up knife. So
I turn
use it as a mirror.
I turn it so Linux can use it as a mirror. Okay.
The guards don't seem to bat an eye at your approach. They don't seem to be very concerned about you. You're walking with Ribs. You've walked with Ribs for a block that they could see at least, and you haven't stabbed him, so you must not be that hostile. So they pop the gates and move out of your way. You step up. You go up through this like circular driveway that is mostly still intact pavement. There's what looks like there's a fountain in the center of the circular driveway that looks like it probably at one point had like a full statue of some sort in the center of it, but it's been cut off at about the waist. And you can hear coming from like to your left, out in the sort of bushes along the side of the house, you hear some rustling, and you see a crown, looks like almost like a tiara, sticking up from the bushes, sort of bopping along. And Ribs looks over and goes, "Oh, geez, that's embarrassing." And a man stands up, looks like he's probably in his 50s or 60s, wearing a tiara and like a sash that says Miss Ohio on it, and nothing else.
By nothing else, do you mean that's all he's wearing?
It's literally all he's wearing, yeah. He stands up for just a second, and like at first he's like, "Ah!" And then he like locks eyes with each of you in turn, and then says, "I'm sorry, son, I didn't realize you were bringing home company." And Rib says, "Yeah, Dad. Mom's having guests over for dinner." He says, "Oh, well,
I feel really overdressed right now."
He says, "Well, then I'll be sure to keep my activities to the outside." And he dives back down into the bushes.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mayor.
I know that just happened, but Fixer, look, it's smooth pavement.
Ribs.
Think of how fast you could drive on this.
I can drive so fast.
If only you had a car.
Why do you have to do that?
And when you said Mr. Mayor, Ribs like elbows you, like,
Fixer?
Don't say that where Mom might hear you.
We're gonna get a car again.
We're gonna get Sheila. She's gonna be better. She's gonna be Sheila 2.0. Sheila 3.0, actually, because I lost her. Sheila 3.0.
We're gonna skip 3.0 and go straight to 6.0.
Okay, Sheila 6.0. Let's do this.
That's just like 6.0 is like a whole different level. It's a whole different car.
Whole nother tier. Whole nother tier of Sheila.
It's a different. You understand it's a different car, right?
No.
Spiritually,
Sheila.
it's the same.
Sheila. Yes.
This reminds me of
All gotta have dreams, and that's real important and real good.
the ship of Theseus. Are you familiar with that at all?
I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say?
Set up the Bunk Coast.
The ship of Theseus. It's an old thought experiment. My mom's big on Greek stuff, classics. She opens the door.
Rips, what manner of creature are you? Because I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I'm just a kid. What?
Okay, that's fine. I believe you.
My mom says that I take after my dad's side of the family, and he looks over at like the tiara bopping around in the bushes and says, "I think she might be right."
No, you take after your own side of the family. You'll evolve beyond them. You keep following that ship. What was the name of the ship again?
Theseus.
You follow the ship of Theseus.
It's okay. It's a big word. It took me a long time to learn it too.
The ship of thespians.
My sister's a thespian. He starts leading in.
I wonder what play they're in.
You
They're an actor?
You get inside. Well, yeah, that too. You get inside, and there's the house is huge. The foyer you walk in, there are like those semicircular stairs that go up both sides to a central landing. there's various pieces of art and sculpture on display out front. And in directly through the foyer, you can see an already set table with two women sitting at it. One of them, she looks like she's probably in her late 50s, early 60s, very well dressed, very well groomed, very put together. And sitting next to her, so she's at the head of the table, and sitting next to her is a red-haired girl. Looks like she's probably in her late teens, maybe early 20s. And she's dressed. The thing that strikes you almost immediately about her manner of dress is the fact that it looks very form-fitting and like the kind of thing you could exercise, run, sneak around, or kill people in very, very easily. It's very tight clothing, very nothing dangling.
It's pragmatic, more
Yeah,
design.
yeah, much more practical in dress. And there's food set out, like bits of fresh vegetables that have been chopped up. You see a bowl that has a few pieces of fruit in it.
Did you say where in relation to the first woman, the second woman is sitting?
Immediately at her right. And the first woman stands up and says, thank you for bringing these visitors here safely. Randall, why don't you please go join your father? And Rib says, okay, you can do. Have fun. Hi, Electra. And the redheaded girl smirks and nods at him, and he runs off.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Come in, please have a seat. I am Tracera Morgan, the mayor of Morganstown. This is my daughter, Electra. We're pleased to have your company.
I'm going to lean in towards Emil.
Sure.
I have no idea how I'm supposed to act here.
Put your elbows on the table.
Okay.
Now be quiet.
She says, I hope you don't mind. I didn't have much time to have something special prepared, but my chef is working on steak and potatoes for everyone. It's my understanding that my son Charles has made a mistake.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a misunderstanding. Happy to get that rectified with you today. And
Of course. If you don't mind, I have a few other associates who are going to be joining us. And she rings a bell, and you see two people come in and sit at the opposite end of the table. One of them, a woman, she's wearing like a rebreather type mask, a hood up. Just her clothing is just covered in grease and oil. But she seems to be compared to like she took some time to wash up before she rolled in the door. She sits down, and next to her, guy walks in. He's wearing just like a sleeveless, almost like a tactical vest almost. Got short auburn hair. And he sits down and says, thank you so much for inviting us out, Mrs. M. I really appreciate the invitation. She says, of course. I didn't get everyone's names, but as I said, this is my daughter, Electra. Over there, she points at the woman who sat down. That is my chief mechanic, Clutch. And this is a new friend of ours, a gentleman by the name of Jester. Jester, you can call me Jester. And she says, I didn't get your names.
My name is Onyx Limewire. You might, I don't know, maybe be familiar with my uncle of the Limewires. This is my traveling companions. The person that was mostly wronged in this area was Fixer. It was her vehicle. Also, please meet Father Cantor, Vess, and Lep.
Oh, wonderful. Now we know each other. We can be friends. So you've lost a vehicle. My child is working out some teen angst and sometimes creates rather embarrassing moments for us. But I am more than happy to compensate you for that. Your arrival, however, is quite fortuitous, as we're actually looking for someone. You look like someone who knows their way around vehicles, yes?
Yeah, little bit. Little lot of bit. Mostly Sheila, but don't have Sheila right now.
That's fair. Well, if you would indulge me, and the servers come in and start laying down these like New York strip cooked to perfection with a baked potato next to it. There's sour cream, there's butter, these plates in front of each of you. If you'll indulge me, I would like to make you an offer. I can certainly have my son scour the chop shops and the backdoor businesses and the various places throughout town he probably sold off the parts of your vehicle at, and reassemble it for you bit by bit over the course of the next week or so. I'd be more than happy to put you in a place to stay for that time. But I have an alternate proposal, a job. I do need someone who can drive. Tell me, would you be able to handle a war rig?
Yes. Yes.
Once we finish eating, Clutch and I will take you out to the garage and show you exactly the vehicle we're speaking of. But we need some assistance to acquire a set of supplies that our new friend Jester has located. Why don't you tell them what you told me, Jester? Jester says, so I was making my way this way from Motor City, and I stopped in the pit because I thought I might be able to get some salvage, something I could make a few dollars off of, something like that, something actionable, something I could move. And while I was there, I came across this huge cache of like medical supplies and a couple of vehicles and a couple of things that these things look like they've been sitting there just pristine, buried under the trash in the pit. And so I came here and I thought I would tell Mrs. M about it, and then maybe we could come to some sort of arrangement where I could help her get some of those supplies, and she could help me out with a few things that I needed help out with, and then everybody gets to be its profitable situation. This is really good steak, Mrs. M. You should really please give my compliments to the chef. And he just starts, he's chowing down while he's talking.
So
what are you looking for us to do?
I'm looking for a team to take our vehicle, Mac. Mac, is that what you decided to go with? Clutch nods. Says, yeah, we're calling it Mac. I'd like you to take Mac to the pit, head to this cache of goods, fill her up with as much as you can carry back, bring it back to me.
How far?
So, oh, go ahead.
How far is it?
It's about 80 mile north of here, give or take.
Of the drive.
How long did you say, Clutch?
Well, if we floor it, we could probably make it there in about an hour and a half, give or take. Depending on what the road's like, but I don't think we're going to run anything Matt can't just drive right through.
And what do we get?
I'm prepared to offer you supplies, goods, and credits in a value of, we'll say, how does 1,000 UPP sound?
Well, supplies we can get at any settlement. It's not something that is super interesting for us.
What I'm driving at, I guess, is I can pay you a sufficient amount that I don't have hard currency to hand you. You need me to furnish you a new vehicle? We can talk about that. You need me to furnish you weapons? We can talk about that. You need food? You know, and set you up. I'm saying I'm willing to lay 1,000 in credit on the table right now for you to split up.
Is that in addition to replacing Fixer's ride? Because to me, these are two separate things, right?
I mean, yes, they are two separate things. I'm giving you an opportunity here to earn quite a bit of cash. As far as I can make sure I'm getting you the best deal in town on parts, vehicles, things along those lines. I can build you a new car. Electrus's mother, wouldn't it only be right for us to replace the lost vehicle? Sure, Sarah says. As always, you remind me, daughter, of how best to conduct business with kindness. Thank you. Can you give me a ballpark value of what your car would be if you had to replace it from parts on the street?
Oh, well, she's priceless, really. Like she's just amazing. But I guess if I were to give a ballpark, Travis, how much would the car be worth generally?
I mean, assuming you're operating with like a starting vehicle, you'd be looking at something that's probably in the tier 3, tier 4 range, right? So let me dig up in the book exactly what you'd be looking at, like in terms of like UPP value. Just a hot second to look that up.
I think.
The steak looks really good.
The steak is really good.
I haven't eaten a bite. I haven't moved. I am sitting and being silent as I was informed.
Everyone's just staring at Linux.
Rusted out car, which I imagine she probably had because it has more passenger space, would be UPP 15.
Yeah. I mean, I would even go so far as to say you might have had, like, because you're carrying this many people and supplies and all that. I would even go so far as to even say stripped down truck if you're okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so looking at like 24, 25 UPP would probably be the better.
I mean, my car was worth at least 35.
40? You'd say 40?
40, yeah. Lynn is much better at numbers than I am, so probably 40.
How about 1,100 for the job?
Well, Lynn,
Just call
Lynn,
it
what do you
square at
think?
that point.
Lynn takes her knife and fork and cuts into the steak. Sounds like a deal. We'll do it.
Wonderful. Clutch and Jester will accompany you. Jester knows the way. Clutch knows the rig. In case you have any difficulties. Can I fetch any of you dessert? A drink?
What do you got?
Anything?
Yes.
I have some ice cream that was freshly whipped. I have a cake.
Meal, am I allowed to eat yet?
Yeah, eat.
Yes.
I'm actually just taking the medical scalpel out and eating.
Excellent. That's,
We'll take both ice cream and cake.
she rings her little silver bell. Says, I'll take another steak if you got one back that it's warm enough, you know. That's fine by me. Of course, Jester.
Is this what money feels like?
Only in front of guests. Unfortunately.
They
Steak is delicious.
Yeah.
if no one has any other questions for anyone at the table, you finish your meal in silence. And they have servants come in, clear your plates when you're done, ensure that you've been fully fed and had beverages. Any other questions?
There's no such thing as silence. I am absolutely like making the smallest of all talks through the entire meal. That I will fill any silence with my own voice.
Does anyone want to take any actions besides enjoying this food during this gathering here?
I was told to be quiet.
Very well.
Bess looks like she wants to die and then comforts herself by eating more of the delicious food.
Emil eats exactly enough of his meal to be polite. And
Okay.
if you want me to roll to prove that he knows.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You do notice that Electra kind of gives you the eye a couple times, just about not, almost like you're pretty sure that she seems suspicious that you're not eating, but she doesn't say anything.
The minute she looks suspicious, I will absolutely direct some of my smallest of talks towards her.
Oh, okay. You do discover that Electra has recently been focusing her studies on various sort of combat arts and athletics, sports, things along those lines. She's been working on perfecting her body.
Fascinating. Please tell me literally everything about that.
She goes on and on and on about tumbling and working with learning different weapons and the exercise regimen they have her on, and how she's very grateful for you all to show up because this gives her an opportunity to eat meat. Her trainer does not allow her to do so at the moment. That she's only allowed to engage or to imbibe blended vegetable proteins.
Who's your trainer?
His name is Mort. He is a assassin who learned his art in Old York.
Of course, yes. Of course, the assassin that learned his arts in Old York. Yes, Mort. Okay, good. I will not ask any more. I'm just going to eat this inside. This is delicious. I love this.
And after kind of sitting through this rather...
Can you dodge a bullet?
I haven't had the occasion to find out, nor do I look forward
Okay.
to the possibility.
I go back to eating.
She says, I want to be sure that one day when I take over the family holdings that I am in appropriate condition to hold on to it. That's all.
These are great dogs you have here.
They're a little rambunctious. And Trocera says, Zeus, Apollo, sit. The dogs.
Thank you very much for this lovely meal. I believe we're ready to take off whenever you are.
Wonderful. Right this way. The servants start clearing the things away. Electra says, if you'll excuse me, Mother, do you need my services anymore? And Trocera says, no, you're excused. You may go take your rest or whatever it is you'd like to do. I think our friends will be fine. And she bows her head slightly and walks out. And the rest of you make your way out into the grounds. Once you walk out the back door, again, you hear some what sounds almost like bird call noises, but not by someone who's particularly adept at making bird calls. So it's just kind of like caw caw, caw caw.
I just start calling back. Caw caw, suki suki, caw.
Trocera says, please don't encourage him.
Kind of like cattily, and under his breath, Emil's just kind of like, how unbecoming.
Trocera, make a it'd either be integrity or empathy roll when you say that.
Okay.
And relying on an attribute that's about sort of like catching subtlety.
Okay. My God, finally.
You catch the ever so slightest hint of a wincing reaction from Trocera. But you can tell she's pretty good at keeping those emotions hidden. So you're pretty sure you've annoyed her, but she doesn't want you to know
that. Retroactively, my condition might have come into play there. No. It's +1 difficulty to establish a bond, so
right.
It's free sailing to fuck them up.
Right. Precisely. So you move out through the area into the workshop. And when you arrive at the workshop, it's a large, concrete building that looks like it was added after much later than the house. And this one looks reinforced, heavily set up, almost like a bunker. And when you walk in the front area of it, there are several workers inside kind of tinkering about with various weapons and items. At first glance, this looks like enough material to convert this city into a relatively defensible fortress.
I could blow up the whole world from here.
Not quite the whole world, but a significant portion of it. She winks.
Shit like that.
As you walk up to another door, it's held shut, and there's a numbered combination padlock on it. And Clutch walks over and undoes the padlock, opens the chains, and leads you into a larger chamber where you see a war rig. This thing is looks like it was built on the chassis of an 18-wheeler that has an additional trailer on it. both trailers have been heavily armored, as has the cab. You can clearly see two machine gun turrets, one on each trailer. And as you're looking it over, why don't you go ahead and give me a piloting roll, Fixer, and use whatever attribute you might want to rely on for just noticing things, catching little details, things along those lines.
Sure. I'm gonna do pilot and then intellect because I feel, or I can use cunning, whatever you think was more.
Intellect's fine. Yeah, I mean, if you're, I would assume you're taking your time and like running your hands over it and looking at it and whatnot, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful piece of work.
You can see that the seals on this are all welded so effectively that you're fairly certain that if the doors are shut, this thing's airtight.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Trocera smacks it on the front and says, this baby right here is the Mac. This is our pride and joy. This is what's going to let us bring in supplies, turn this town into what it could truly be. It's all thanks to Clutch's work. And you see Clutch is kind of standing there. There's seems to be a conflict in Clutch's face as she's beaming with pride, but she also seems a little bit squeamish about you touching her car.
Clutch, this is an amazing vehicle. Amazing.
She says, thank you. I've been working very hard on it for about 3 years now.
I'll walk over to Emil.
Yeah.
Hey, keeping my voice somewhat low. Does this seem like bullshit to you?
Yes.
Okay. We're totally stealing the vehicle, right?
Emil like turns on his heel and looks at Trocera and is like, I have a very frank question for you.
Certainly. Fire away.
You do not know us from dirt on your immaculately polished shoe. Why are you trusting us with this literally perfect road rig?
Couple reasons. One, I'm not sending you alone. Clutch is going with you.
Clutch is one person.
So is Jester.
2.
Secondly, well, I trust Clutch. But secondly, what reason would you have to try to screw me over? I'm talking about giving you enough that you could build your own Mac.
And then some.
And we would have a friendly relationship afterward. What reason could you possibly have to screw me over? You run off for the short term. You're going to piss off the one mechanic who knows how this thing works inside and out while you're out there in the wastes. You piss off the mechanic who clearly knows how to blow every door on this place, sound the alarms, and drag every undead monstrosity for the next 10 miles to you.
I just wanted to hear you say we don't have a choice.
I'm also going to point out Electra's scary.
These are all extremely compelling arguments, and I appreciate that we just put them all out there because, I mean, why not?
Who's Electra?
Gun turrets.
The woman at dinner.
The one with all the talking about all the weapons.
Oh, the compensator. Got it.
She works very hard to keep her mother happy, and her mother appreciates it. Jester says, "No, listen, Mrs. M. This is a great setup that you got going on here, and I'm really pleased to be a part of this plan. And thank you so much for letting me still go along with you as all and ride along with these people."
Pleasure to have you, Jester.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I really think we're going to get along great when we're out there on the road. And I say there's no time like the present. We hit the brakes now. We can hit there by sunrise.
Sounds great.
Do this. I'm ready.
Questions? All right, load up. And that's where we'll wrap things up for this session as you all load yourselves and what little gear you have remaining into the Mac.
Awesome.
It's hard to role play properly on like a video chat, but like Vess seems very bemused by Fixer being excited. Like she seems excited just that Fixer is excited.
It's a war rig.
It is.
I imagine her being like, "Tell me the thing that you think is the coolest."
It is a war rig. I'll go ahead and give you these stats so that you can, if you don't mind, mark them down either in your character notes. I can also send them to you later, but I want to verbally give them to you so the audience at home knows what you're driving to. It's called the Mac War Rig. It's a Tier 5 vehicle. You want to note that it is new +1 for age. Condition is well loved, -1. Complexity is specialized +2. Aftermarket is all the bells and whistles +3. It operates with the following scales. It has force scale 3, size scale 4, and speed scale 3. Its scrap value is 200, and its UPP value is 125.
That's a ride.
It has 6 injury conditions, has 3 scratched injury conditions that are +0 complication, 1 dented +1, 1 seen better days +2, 1 wrecked +4, and then it's trashed. If it ever gets reduced to trashed, it is immobile. As far as weapons go, it has the 2 turrets, which require the gunner to open one of the sealed portholes to access and cannot be fired while the vehicle is environmentally sealed. And there is a missile launcher with 4 missiles that can be fired by a gunner via internal controls, even while the Mac is sealed.
Dibs. I Rochambeau for it.
I mean, you said there were 2, right?
Yeah, there are 2 gunners and then the missile launcher. When you're inside, you're considered to have environmental protection, so no environmental effect that originates outside of the vehicle can target you.
Like that poor man's stink.
Like that poor man.
God, I went to that party smelling like that guy.
So any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about this session?
Great time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did anyone attain any of their aspirations this session?
Technically, yes. I did share a drink with someone as tired as Emil is.
That is fair, and I will allow it. And so you will gain an experience point for it.
Do you guys think I achieved he's creepy, but he's our creepy?
I mean, I did call you in to kill somebody, so I would say yes. Sorry, put somebody out of their misery, not kill. We don't.
We don't use the K word.
We don't use the K word here.
Yeah. All right. I'll allow that as long as everyone's cool with that. Did Vess attain any short-term aspirations?
I don't think quite yet. I don't feel like I tough loved anyone in the group.
That's fair. How about Linux? Short-term aspiration?
No, I was my 2 are find a component of value and field tested new technology. So good question.
Not quite yet.
Is that truck a component of motherfucking value?
I'll take it. Yeah.
I mean, the truck is a component of value. I'm assuming that your aim for the aspiration was more like scavenge something, find something. You'll have an opportunity to fulfill that aspiration. So, but being given is different than being loaned is different than finding. So, I would say. And you didn't spend any momentum really at all this session, right?
No.
We will say that you have reached a story milestone and that you have you are now moving out of Morganstown. So that'll be a story beat. So everyone gets one experience for that. The experience point chart is located on page. I'm looking at the story guide sheet, so I don't know what page it's on. Hold on one second. Just looking it up real quick. But basically, you can purchase various different traits with experience. I don't think anyone's got enough quite yet to do so. But when you do, you'll be able to purchase those. The other thing that you're able to do between now and next session, if you choose, is make minor tweaks to your character. These would allow you to move one dot from any one skill to another skill, or one dot from any one attribute to another attribute. The only caveat to that is you need to mark where you've put the new skill dot and make sure you roll that skill in that next session. And that system is there. So if you're like, when I was building the character, I thought I wasn't going to need to rely on this as much, but I clearly need to roll this skill more. So you can make changes like that to reflect your character. And the
experience chart is on 81.
81. Yep. Thank you so much. So that's where we're at for this time. When we begin next session, we'll start with you all being on the road, taking the Mac for a run. So once again, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to play. I want to thank the audience, whether you're watching it live on Twitch or in the VODs or whether you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for checking out and giving us a watch. I would ask you to please make sure that you follow, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you can subscribe on Twitch, that helps you get early access to VODs and helps us keep the lights on. And I do want to remind you to head over to Drive-Thru-RPG and pick up Dystopia Rising Evolution. It's available in print on demand. It's available in PDF. They've got a couple of different supplements that are out for it. It's a grand time. I hope you're seeing that as you're seeing us dive into this story. Before we run off, I'm going to go ahead and have everyone just give us a quick who you are, what you do, who you're playing, pronouns, and anything you might wish to plug. And let's start this time with Michael, and then Michael, you can pass the talking stick around.
I'm never ready. Never go first. Hi, I'm Michael. I play Lep. I was the one being jumped on by my doggy during the game. Had a great time with this. Thank you all. It was a blast. My pronouns are him, they, either gender neutral or masculine. And overall, I do some game writing, working on some events coming up. Nothing that I can really announce. Other than that, I'm just enjoying my time playing a cool game with some cool people. So I will go ahead and pass it off to Chris.
Hi, Chris Kitts. He, him, playing Emil Cantor. Also, he, him. I did some grumpy faces at literally the whole time. Stygian on Facebook and Twitter. That's DJSTYGIAN. And also, if you want to listen to a podcast about some of the most reprehensible movies, both morally and in terms of production, that would be SHTLSTpod, POD as in Delta, .com. And also on anywhere you get your podcasts. And I will kick it over to Katie. Kick with my hands.
Hello, or I guess goodbye. My name is Katie Griffin, she, her. I portrayed Fixer. The Diesel Jock, also she, her. I do weddings, and I also write a lot of tabletop and LARP content in my spare time for funsies. You can find me on Facebook at Katie Griffin Writer. You can also technically find me on Twitter at See the Griffin. I'm not very active there though, so I apologize for that. And I'm going to kick it on over to, let's do Heather.
Hello, I am Heather Halstead, she, her. I played Vess, also she, her, who ineffectually tried to keep everyone from fighting. We're all going to fight. It's fine. It's better that way.
I would say you were pretty effectual at that. There wasn't really any undue violence. Like the only violence that happened tonight was mercy violence.
I don't know, but I don't think I'm the one who kept him from it. That's the kicker. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch at Roughshod Films. Across the board, just keeping it easy. I had a great time. Thanks, guys. And I'm going to kick it to Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jessie Morrow. She, her. I played Onyx Path, she, her. I was very excited to play with friends today. I don't have anything really to pimp as far as I wouldn't come looking for me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, but I just post memes and pictures of my dog. And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. And once again, just want to remind everybody to please take care of yourselves and each other. Get your shots, get them frequently. If you qualify for a booster, go get a booster. Take care of those around you. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for your kids, do it for the people who can't take it. So pretty pleased with Sugar on top. We want you to be here with us next week when we tell this story some more. The best way to do that is to get vaccinated. So see y'all soon. Bye.